Happy Easter, everyone. Today is a very fun video because I have a pretty decent sized collection of freeing bunnies. Actually, 27 of them in total. So I thought it would be pretty fun to go through and to rank every single freeing bunny. I'm going to give you my brief opinion on all of them, my favorites, my least favorite, why they are my favorite, why I don't like them, and everything in between. Now we're going to try to go through them a little bit quickly. I'm not going to make an hour-long video out of this, but I will give you some brief thoughts on them along the way. So, by the way, freeing bunnies are not cheap. They are usually $200 plus. So, if you do enjoy this video, leave a like, subscribe, tell me what your favorite freeing bunny is down in the description. Maybe send this to your friends because that would really help because these videos aren't going to pay for all of this. But anyway, thank you for tuning in. Let's get right on into it. In last place, in 27th, we have Mai. Now this is the Bunny Girl Senpai, Mai, from that series, and you would think that out of all of the bunny girls is that Mai should be the best. Unfortunately, that's not the case. Now technically, this is the oldest of all of them, not the oldest in my collection. It's actually one of the more recent ones because this figure actually came out in about 2018 originally. Now what they did is they re-released this figure. It came back out in 2024. So we got it again. Now, you can tell from this figure, for many, many reasons, that they have massively improved their process of making these figures, designing these figures, and everything overall in that time. Because this figure just doesn't look that good. I think the pose is quite weak, to be honest. I think the face is okay, but not great. Her chest here, like Mai is a quite busty girl. She's not like Isuki Chan or the Dragon Maid girls, but she's more busty than this. This is like B cup. She's at least like a high C or even a D or even a little bit bigger than that. And we don't get that here. This is very underwhelming for a lot of reasons. I think she's very small looking when Mai is supposed to be a very tall kind of, well-built girl, and this is just not it. This is lolly Mai maybe, but yeah. All right, this is Knapsack Kid Mai. If that's the case, it's not too bad. But if it's regular Mai, no, this is not it. Number 26, Sumi. This whole line pains me so much that I have to put it this low, but it's not really even the design. The designs are actually pretty nice. I do like the leggings. She does have excellent Easter cake there for us, but it's the colors. This is so unappealing to the eyes. This like pastel, hot pink type, I don't even know, but it doesn't look good, and it really looks bad alongside of Sumi's hair here. They just contrast so bad. The base is not the same color as her outfit here. It just looks bad overall. And this is not even the end of what we're going to talk about for the Ren Girlfriend set. Doesn't get much better, but this one is the worst in my opinion. I think too, it's this white like netting here. This doesn't look good either. It's just overall very not good. Now, if you're talking about design wise, it's pretty good. It's just the coloring that looks really bad. And that's why it's better than Mai. Mai is bad for mold reasons. This is bad for coloring reasons, and that's really the worst part about this one. Speaking of which, Ruka, number 25. Yeah, it's similar reasons, but this one actually, I think the coloring is not terrible. I do think it's better than Sumi. However, the face is off here. This is not Ruka. I don't care what you say. That is not Ruka. But the pose, like, I don't know what this is, but it just doesn't look right. The proportions don't really seem right either. Like, she has really beefy thighs, which, you know, great. But then she has, like, very tiny calves. And she's got, like, a hip to bust ratio that would, like, it's like a doll almost, but like none of the other ones are this bad. I mean, even like the Dragon Maid ones, it kind of like it kind of works because it's gradual. They don't make it so obvious. This one, it's like, gosh, I don't know, but it just doesn't look right, and it's quite bad, to be honest. And I hate this because it's one of my favorite characters, and it just doesn't look good. Also, these boots, I don't hate them, but they don't look good either. It's just, no. Number 24, Marin. This one's a disappointment for a few reasons here, but none of which is the body. From right here to right here, this is a fantastic figure. I love the tie. I think that's a good little addition that not a lot of them get. I don't think any of them that I have actually have the tie, so that's a great addition, actually. I love when they give them kind of unique things that make them a little bit stand out from the rest. And I think overall, the body looks great. I love the black on Marin. I think that's perfect. I think you very easily could have given her like a hot pink or a yellow. Don't need that. This is better. However, there's two things that really, really bring this figure down. Number one is the face. That face looks awful. Number two is this base. So a lot of the other ones will have this kind of solid looking base, and it doesn't look bad. It looks kind of like official, and it looks nice. This one, they gave her a hot pink see-through base, and for whatever reason, that was an awful idea, because the other ones, it makes you think, oh, they're solid bases. They are beefy little bases for these really expensive looking figures. With this one, what we get is we get these lines to where you can tell it's a hollow base. And because of that, it makes the figure look cheap, in my opinion. This base just ruined it for me. Not only that, but that base looks awful. And between those two things, I can't really justify the rest being good, because every time I see this figure, I see the face, I see the base, and I'm already annoyed at it, even though this part of her is great. Number 23, Ginko. So this is the first of a big tier here. Like all the rest of them that I've talked about so far, I would put in, say, D tier to F tier. Now we're getting into like the C/B tier, to where there's nothing really wrong with these. These are great figures. If you are a fan of this series, you're a fan of this character, you're getting exactly what you wanted. However, the problem is that Freeing kind of sometimes they'll go above and beyond, to where you're like, whoa, that was a good figure. But then sometimes they give you exactly what you hoped for, and you unbox it and you're like, yeah, that's what I wanted. Okay, we're gonna put her on the shelf now. And that's what Ginko is here. So the reason she's lower than some of the rest of them is because I don't think she's as interesting of character to have versus some of the others we're gonna talk about. But I do think overall, she's pretty well done. I think the face is good. I do love the little hair accessory. I love when they give them hair accessories. I do think the colors look really well here. Overall, it's a good one. And you will notice this is the bare leg version. Some of them are bare legs, some of them have the netting. I'm not really going to judge them for that, because every bare leg, most of the time, gets a netting version, vice versa. So I'm not going to judge it on that. I'm going to pretend they're all the same, and that doesn't really change my opinion on this one. I do love the hair. I think the hair looks really nice. I think the overall look of this figure looks really nice. And I like that even though she is kind of like, she doesn't take up much room, her base doesn't either. Her base is very compact here. It's very easy to put this on a shelf, and it doesn't take up much room. It takes up vertical room, but not horizontal room, and I like that a lot. So yeah, bit of a boring figure, but it does exactly what we wanted it to, and that's the great part about it. Number 22, Chica. Now this one pains me to put this low, but it's really where I'm feeling on this one. It's a good figure. It's a good one. However, it just doesn't do anything unique that makes me think only Chica could be this figure. I think there's a lot of these, same one with the last one, to where you could just chop her head off, put another character's head on it, and you got the same figure. If you told me that this body type was Darkness from Konosuba, you put Darkness's head on there, I wouldn't know any different. Aqua from Konosuba, you could do that. There's a lot of them. You could throw their head on this one and you wouldn't know the difference. Nothing about the body tells me this is Chica. And while, yeah, the proportions are pretty close, even then, I would say that if you, especially with the way Fring does some figures, some of them, they exaggerate the proportions a little bit just because that character would probably have exaggerated proportions. I think even Chica could have done a little bit bigger here because some of the other figures that are obviously canonically smaller than Chica have similar sizes. So not necessarily bad, but kind of underwhelming as a Chica figure. Let's talk about two of them at the same time. This is the A Couple of Cuckoos set. We have Sachi and Erica. And here's the thing. Together, they look all right. They look pretty good. They kind of do this like matching hand thing. I like it. It kind of, on a shelf together, they look pretty cool. I like it. However, when you put them by themselves, I just don't, I'm not seeing it. Especially Sachi here. So if I had to rank them, 21st, 20th. Are they bad? No. Do I think that both of them are a bit bustier than they should be? Yes. They're a bit very voluptuous. Some, like I said, sometimes they exaggerate proportions when they really shouldn't. Because, yes, while both of these characters are quite busty, they are not this busty. This is insanely busty. Also, both of these figures are some of the tallest in the line. And while, I guess they are tall characters, are they that tall? Like, are they Comey and Lucola levels of tall? Like, those are the only two characters that pass these. I don't think they qualify for that. They're doing a new, 6 scale line, 1/6 scale. I think if these were made today, they would have been in that line. They wouldn't have been in this quarter scale line. They're cool to have. I like the anime, but man, they are kind of not underwhelming, but kind of confusing on some of the decisions they made with these. Okay, so we are officially to the point where I'm like, I like every one of these moving forward. I don't regret buying any of these. These are ones I'm proud to have in my collection. The first of which is Chizuru from Ren Girlfriend. Now, am I a little biased on this one? Probably so. Because while this is not a bad figure by any means, I do think compared to, say, Ruka, it's better than Ruka, but it's still not great. There is some things about it that I'm like, this is not perfect. The face is not quite perfect, but I think the hair looks pretty good. I think the colors look really good. It's not that pastel hot pink and it's not that baby blue, whatever that was. It looks pretty good, and that's great. That's exactly what I wanted out of this figure. However, it's just, they went a whole different direction with the Ren Girlfriend line with this. They gave them, these, belts and everything. And while that's unique and that's different, and I commend them for that. That's great. It's also what are we doing here? Because some of these just don't look that great. And it's kind of where I'm at with this whole line. But Chisaru's not bad, and the last one that we're going to talk about here in a little bit, it's probably the best in the set by quite a reasonable margin, but Chisaru's not bad compared to the other two. Time for another. That's perfectly fine that they did that. Everything about it is perfectly fine. That's where I'm at with Hayasaka here. Nothing about her is bad. She's exactly what I thought we would get out of a Hayasaka. However, you can easily say, well, we could have had a little bit better. I think the face could have been a little bit better. I think this one is meh. I think it fits. It's definitely, like, you see it, you see Hayasaka, and that's great. But you also are like, I could think of a few different faces, some better faces for Hayasaka. I think you definitely could have done like a completely like void of emotion face, that iconic look for her, and I think that probably would have looked better than this. Like, they tried to give her a little bit of emotion. You don't need to do that. Just give her nothing. That's her. She doesn't have emotion. That's the point of her character. But hair-wise, it's great. And then once again, same as Chica, the body, you could just take this, cut her head off, put another character on, bam, you have the exact, it doesn't matter. This body is not Hayasaka. It doesn't matter. It's just a generic body. That's one good thing about the Ren Girlfriend set. You obviously know, like, these were designed for these characters. These, I don't know. But she's good. She's good. I'm not complaining too much. It pained me to put her this low, but we have Taiga here. Now, I will real quickly say, there is two versions of Taiga. There is this version, and then there is the Palm Top Tiger version. And that one, honestly, is fantastic. It is technically not a bunny. It is a tiger, but it's better. I like the yellow outfit, having the different face, everything. I think it just looks better. I think the pose, it really fits that one. This one, it's very cute, it's very bunny-like, and that's fine. It works. There's nothing wrong with this one. I love her hair. Taiga's, like, one of her key features is her hair, and the hair looks great here. But it's just that, and I think if I didn't know, like, if that figure didn't exist, I probably would have liked this a little bit better. But knowing that figure exists, knowing that there is a better version of her out there, that makes me think lesser of this one, unfortunately. Next up, Kaguya. So this is like the last of the really bad offenders of this, and that is, you could cut her head off, you could replace the body, and, you know, with a different character's head, and you really wouldn't notice. This is like the last one of those that's really bad about that. There's one more that kind of fits that, but this is like the last major one. And I will say, though, the face on this one is just perfect. She's got a perfect face. Not only that, but I love the ribbon on the back here. It does make you think that this is Kaguya. And the pose of doing like this, that is something I can easily see Kaguya doing. So it makes sense. Like, overall, this is, I see this and I'm like, yes, that makes sense for Kaguya. With the other two Love is War figures, I'm like, I could think of better things you could do with these characters. With this one, I'm like, this is the perfect look for Kaguya. And that's why she's the highest out of the three. Maybe we'll get Miko someday, and maybe a K. Maybe they can do something cool with those two. Who knows? But until then, she's the best of the Love is War line. Remember whenever I said there was one more that you could kind of apply that to? Well, we have Chisato from Licorice Recoil, the newest addition to my collection. So this one, I don't say that as much because I think the red here matching her little ribbon here and everything, love that. Great detail. You easily could have given her a black one. No one really would have said anything. I think this looks better. I think it looks great. I love the Takina that I don't have yet. I love that one is kind of a dark royal blue to match this one. It's very good. It matches their uniforms. It's great. Love that. I love her hair everything about that looks great. I put out a review of this on Monday, or not Monday, Wednesday. So go check that out if you're interested. It's just one of the recent videos. You can go check it out right now. I personally love this little figure, but yes, technically, you could cut her head off, you could replace the body, and you really wouldn't know that it was Chisato, but I like it. I'm not going to complain too much because it's a fun pose, and I see it and I'm like, yeah, that's Chisato. Kind of like Kaga. I'm fine with this one. Next up, let's have Ammy from Toradora. So this is the second of the Toradora line that we have gotten so far, and I think it actually looks really nice. I love the gloves that we got with this set. It looks really nice. Like, that looks really nice. The blue here, like, you could easily have dulled this blue to not make it look as cartoony, but I'm glad they didn't. I'll mention this again with another one, but it looks really nice, and they kind of blend it into this darker color here. They do a great job on hair nowadays. They've gotten better and better and better at that. I kind of wish that we would have got Chizuru a little bit later, because I think they could have made her hair even better, but they've really nailed it lately. This is a great figure, and I'm very pleased with this one. Why is it so low then? Well, because it's just kind of simple, and I do think character-wise, this is where I'm kind of getting to a biased for, you know, I like this character more than this character, or this character did something really cool with their figure, and this one, yeah, she's got the gloves, yeah, she's got cool hair and everything, and the pose definitely fits Ammy, so I'm like, yeah, it's great. But some of the other ones, I'm like, yeah, but that one's even better. Next up, Mommy. All right, so I kind of like this one a lot, and this has always been my favorite from this set because I like the pose. The pose is something that I can see her doing. I can see her trying to be flirtatious by leaning over and everything. It just looks really nice. Love the back. The cake party has arrived. The hair looks great. It does kind of blend into that orange here, which that like kind of darker yellow at the bottom of her hair is the same as this. Not only that, but the shoes and the base look very similar. It's not like Sumi where we got two different shades of pink. This is two very close shades of yellow, and I like that. It all looks like it fits together. Not that they threw them all together like they did with Sumi. This just looks really nice. Not only that, but the face looks great. As for the whole Ren Girlfriend line, this is the best one. Now, will we ever get that Yaemori freeing bunny? Hope so. I think it could look really good. Give her like a purple outfit, because they're going crazy with the colors on these. But hey, with modern, 2 years later freeing technology, could be pretty cool. One of the smallest ones now, we have I from the Reuse Work Is Never Done. It is pretty much a big gap between Ginko and her, but I really like this one. It's actually really well done in my opinion. I love the like baby blue coloring on that and everything. I think the face is just perfect, and it's a smaller one, fits her size. I think it's very well done. But what I love most about this is not the cake, but it is this hair. The hair looks so nice. The little ribbons here in her hair look great. And it's so pretty the way that her hair is done, even including, and this is going to be hard for her to show you, see this little guy? The little like loop in her hair? It's even there. That's the cute little stuff that they add to these figures that makes it so good. And they've added more and more of this lately. But I think the hair on this one, and just overall, I think the figure looks really nice. Like the proportions look really nice. And maybe that's easier on a character like this compared to, a really busty one. But I think it looks really nice, and that's why it's this high. Okay, let's do another double here. So this is the new game set. And I am so split on which one I like a little bit better, because both of these are really nice. Now, what I enjoy most about these two is I'm kind of a sucker for those sitting ones like this one, to where they're not standing up real tall, they're kind of squatting or sitting. Looks really nice in my opinion. I think when they do it right, it really looks nice. And these two look really nice. Obviously, with this one, you have the little detail of the mole on her breast there. Very nice. But overall, I think these look really good. If I had to give one the slight upper hand, it would be Oba, because they've given her like this very, glossy, sparkly bunny suit there, and it just looks really nice. I think the face on both of these look incredible. This is just an amazing set, and I am so glad we got them. Number 9 here, we have Kana from Dragon Maid. So this is a controversial one because everybody's like, well, looting the dragon lolly or whatever. I don't believe so, because this one is actually really great because of some little details. So, number 1, the hair. The hair looks great. You have all of this little details in her hair there, the horns. It looks so nice. Then, all of them have heels, except for this one. She's got little ballerina shoes. I love that. They didn't have to do that, but they did, and I like that a lot. The little gloves here look nice. I don't think you needed them, but they look nice. Even a little ribbon here on the top, as well as the little ears being a little bit smaller than the rest. The only thing that I am kind of not a fan of with this is they gave her brown little netting here. I don't really like the brown. I think it kind of makes it look bad, but is it awful? No. It's a minor nitpick compared to a really good figure. That's why it's this high. If it would have given us like black leggings, like I think it would have looked better, then I think it would have matched all of this and the other things here. I think it would have looked a little bit better, but that's a nitpick. Overall, great figure from a great line. This is the number 3 one of that line, and we are up to 9th place. So this whole line's very good. Okay, I don't know her name. To be honest, I forgot it. But this is Isuki Chan's mom from Isuki Chan Wants to Hang Out. And yeah, at first I wasn't that big of a fan of this figure because, like, that's the selling point. That's why people buy this figure. But then I had it more, and I'm like, you know what? The detail on her hair kind of flowing around her hair here, or neck there to go down, it's just a really good detail. Not only that, but the face is perfect. Like, it's perfect. It is exactly like the character. And the pose here, it's really good. It actually, like, works alongside. You can have this one, Isuki-chan, and now Isuki-chan's little sister. You can have all of them side by side, and they look really nice together. Originally, I was going to criticize the pink here, and it's still not my favorite. I would have preferred to not have the pink. But now that we have gotten the little sister, which is coming soon, that'll be in the light blue. I think having light blue, black, and then the pink, I think that'll look really nice together as a set. And I like how they've got them all sitting. It would have been weird if you would have had 2 sitting, 1 sitting, and then the rest standing. Nope, all 3 of them are in this sitting pose, and that's great. That's why she's this high. All right. All of these moving forward are A tier or higher. And we have Manori from Toradora. I love this figure. I think the pose looks great. This is something I can see Manori doing. I love the red. It's vibrant. And I've criticized where I say the base really doesn't fit the outfit, and that shouldn't work. It should either be black or it should fit the outfit. But no, the base fits her hair, and that's great because then you have this sends your eyes to this and not the outfit, and that's what you want. You want it to all blend together, and this one does a great job of that. It just looks so good for being Manori. not even one of my least favorite characters from Toradora. I like Taiga, I like Ammy better. Manori is the best in the bunny girl outfit, apparently. By far, I love this figure. Barely missing out on the top 5 here, we have Yuna from Kuma Bear. I love this one for 2 simple reasons. You have the 2 little bears that are gloves. I love this. This is so cool. They're actually really big, and I like that. But overall, I think the rest of the figure looks really nice. The hair, really when they have to do a lot of work on hair, they usually do a really good job on it. And I think they did here. I think it looks really nice. Not only that, but they got the little ribbons here in the front. The only criticism that I have for this one, and it's very minor, is that I think this face, while it is definitely something that I can see Yuna doing, I kind of wish we would have got almost like a little smirk with her instead of the kind of embarrassed look. I can see her being embarrassed if she was wearing this or whatever, but I think if we would have had her doing like a little smirk or whatever, I think that would have been just perfect. And it probably would have gotten her into the top 5. But let's see who did make it into the top 5. Comey from Comey Can't Communicate. Now, originally, I was kind of critical on this one because I was like, it's one of those to where you could just cut her head off. You could replace her with a different character's head and you wouldn't know the difference. But the more I thought about it, Comey is a very shy character, so having her do this elaborate pose really wouldn't make any sense. And honestly, the best pose that you could give Comey, considering she is quite busty, is that she would be kind of covering herself up because she's embarrassed. That's what we got. It's perfect. This is exactly what Comey would be doing in this situation. And that's the perfect bunny girl, is whenever you can see the character doing this pose. And that's exactly what we need. The face on this one is perfect. I know it's not something they do very often, and they weren't going to do it here, but it would have been really cool if we could have had an alternate maybe face or a head or something to where we could have had her with the big eyes and everything. I think it could have been cool. It's just it's not taking away from this figure. It's something you could have added to make it even better. But I think it looks really nice. It is the second tallest figure in my collection, only behind another one we're going to talk about here in a minute. But it looks really nice. And I love the flowing hair. I love the pose. Like I already said, I think it fits her really, really well. Number 4, let's do Toru here from Dragon Maid. I like this figure a lot. It has grown on me quite a bit since buying it. Originally, it was my least favorite of the Dragon Maid line. Now it's my second favorite. But it looks so nice. Once again, the horns here look great. And I think the pose here fits Toru. I can easily see her doing this pose. And this one is one of a few to where they've given her a different type of legging. It is a bit more spaced out compared to the standard one. And I think that's pretty cool. They gave Kana different leggings. I think it's fitting that they give all of them different leggings or netting, whatever it is. I don't know. But it looks really nice. Love the hair. I just think seeing this on a shelf, it looks like, yeah, that's cool. I want to have that on my shelf. I'm a big fan of Dragon Maid. I want to have this. And I think it's perfect. Now, the top 3 was not easy to pick, but number 3 is Lucola. Now, this is one of my favorite anime figures of all time. I love this figure. It looks so nice. And it's a character I don't even like, but it looks so good. Not only do you have the horns up here, but you have insane detail on the hair coloring here to go from a yellow all the way down to blue. I mentioned this in my review of this figure, but it's very easy to have a line that you can easily pick out on figures. They didn't do that here. It blends very seamlessly from one to the other. Then you have the hair or the tie here that is, you're not looking at the tie there, but hey, there is a tie there. Also, her very, very cute hands here. That's very nice as well, doing the little heart. I like that a lot. And there's also a lot to love as well in this figure. And I think despite having size quadruple Z breast, she doesn't look out of proportion. Like everything here, I'm like, yeah, that looks really nice. It's not like Ruka where I'm like, that looks weird. That does not look like it could actually function. This one, I'm like, yeah, that makes sense. Like decent sized thighs, not skinny, calves or whatever. It's like progressive. And that's all I ask for. Looks really nice. I love this figure. I swear I'm not picking them because they have big breasts. But number 2 is Isuki Chan from Isuki Chan Wants to Hang Out. This just looks really nice. Like the pose of her doing like the little peace sign, I can see her doing that. And also, like, I don't care what you say. Having the fact that she is putting her arm under her breast to hold them up is insanely funny. When Connor, Sea-Dog VA, reviewed my room, that is what he said. That he was like, her boobs are so big that she has to hold them up. That's what people notice with this figure. And you know what? I like that. I think it's very funny. Do I think the proportions are a little bit bad? Maybe a little bit, but hey, the face is perfect. That face is exact to the anime. It's just a great figure. I love the sitting ones because they take up a little amount of room, but it just looks perfect. I love this figure. It looks so good. I have been happy ever since this has been in my collection. And finally, number 1. This was also my favorite anime figure of 2024, and no surprise, it is Nagataro. I just love this figure because it would be very simple for them to just tan her whole body, cover it up, and then that's it. You just give her the face, there you go. But you know what? They didn't do that. They went ahead, they gave us tan lines. They gave us a pose of her kind of pulling that down to tease her senpai. It's exactly what you expect out of a character like this. It ticks all the boxes of what I want out of a Fring figure. It is unique to the character. We have a body that is unique to the character. We have a great face to where she is not necessarily in her teasing mode, but she's kind of embarrassed while teasing, which is very fitting because she does that quite often. You have perfect hair. Hair looks great. It's just perfect. And a pose that fits the character. Tens across the board. This is my favorite Fring Bunny figure. So that is all of my Fring Bunnies ranked. What do you think? Do you agree with my ranking? Do you think I'm wrong on all of them? Let me know down below. And if you didn't stay until the end, thank you so much. This is a video that I wanted to make because bunny girls, it's Easter bunnies. There you go. Hope you enjoyed. If you did enjoy, leave a like, comment, subscribe. I'll make many more videos like this to come. We have more Fring unboxings coming very soon as well. But until then, thank you so much for watching. Have a happy Easter, and I'll talk to you guys again soon. Bye.